got some amazing gameplay of Droideka that we have to showcase here today. The freshest and hottest Omicron on the holotable and Galaxy of Heroes, bringing Grievous up to a higher level of viability in Territory Wars. And already in its first week of release, Droideka is already in the top 10 most invested Omicrons. Should it be one that you invest into? I'm going to show you guys what I ended up doing with my Droideka Omicron this first Territory War cycle with it. And I'm going to show you what other people in our community have utilized the Droideka Omicron, or what was their experience fighting Droideka Omicron. And let's just say some of the results are going to be a little bit surprising. I want to roll into my first battle utilizing the Droideka Omicron against Master Luke. Normally, Grievous, if it's a weak Jedi team, he can maybe get through, but this is as stacked as it comes. Normally, almost an impossible battle for Grievous. I'm talking tons of protection on the Datacron for Master Luke, 40+% protection, which means when Jedi Master Luke does the assist ability on his lead, you're going to get a lot more damage. That's one of the problems why Grievous isn't as consistent against Master Luke anymore. On top of that, Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Revan, and we also had Mace Windu Omicron, which is nuts. We've talked about Mace Windu Omicron in the past. And we have Jedi Knight Anakin. This is as stacked as a Master Luke team can come. But with the Droideka Omicron, it made it fairly manageable for a variety of reasons. Primarily, as you're going to see, there's an amazing revive on this team. So when Droideka gets defeated, you're bringing back all your droids that can be revived, except for B1. B1's not revivable, and that really turned the tide of the battle. More revives, more droids means more metalloid monstrosity opportunities, which makes this kind of a catch-22. You got to kind of kill off Droideka before you go for the rest. But if you go for Droideka, then B2 is going to get ticked off. It's just a massive complication if you're fighting it, but when you're using it on offense, it's a huge deal. Let me remind you real quick what the Omicron does in case you need a little bit of a refresher. It's only for Territory Wars and Force, so you can't do this in Grand Arena, which kind of breaks my heart. But again, I just want to emphasize the biggest thing here. The first time Droideka is defeated, while marked, an ally is active. Revive all allies at the end of the turn, and then all allies recover 100% health, which is the big thing right there. That turned the tide of this battle in my favor, getting the win on one of the nastiest Master Luke teams you can possibly encounter. But there's also a lot of other things on there, but the revive was really the thing that made this so much better. With this Omicron, Droideka starting off with damage immunity for one turn at the start of the encounter, and it can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. So no Bastila Shan buff dispel, no Jedi Knight Luke buff dispel. Great. Also, Droideka's gaining one stack of charge whenever an ally takes a turn, whereas otherwise only happens when the enemy's taking turns. Now it's both, which means you're getting a lot more charge baked into the Droideka, which means a lot more damage when they want to sauce you up on their special ability, which is huge. And also, whenever an ally is marked, Droideka gains 25% max health, so they're becoming more durable, making it more likely Grievous is going to mark Droideka. And if they're being marked, the damage immunity, kind of a little bit of a complication. And it constantly stacks throughout the end of the encounter, and the ally in the leader slot gains 20% turn. With Grievous' unique ability, he keeps reapplying the mark. So that means constant 20% turn meter gauge to General Grievous. And at the start of each turn, if Droideka has damage immunity, this came in very helpful. For example, against my Jedi Master Luke, you can't be stunned or dazed. And that's why we see people like Tyler Hammer and some others, they were having complications beating Grievous because you can't daze them if they have damage immunity. And Droideka already starts off with damage immunity at the beginning of the battle, which is great. And then while Droideka is marked, you're giving allies plus 25% potency and plus 25 speed. And the first time, as we said, when Droideka is defeated with mark, revive all the allies and then get 100% health. And on top of that, anytime Droideka is starting a turn, it's healing up the team. 10% health and protection. So there's actually a good degree of durability on this team. And as we're seeing, it's showing some really promising results, making it better to go up against some Galactic Legends. Be bold again. General Grievous used to be kind of a consistent thing, but the Datacrons have made it a little bit more complicated, and other Omicron upgrades throughout time. With this Droideka Omicron upgrade, you're going to feel a lot more confident going in the battle, mainly just that revive. It's kind of like almost having Wat Tambor. That's why we saw Wat Tambor at one point be a good General Grievous team, because it would just revive Magna Guard, B2. Well, now Droideka basically took the Wat Tambor revive, shoved it in their kit, and now when you get those extra revives, you feel a lot more confident. You can take on some really, really difficult battles. Although, keep in mind that revive is not going to quite work against General Anakin Skywalker, but when you're going up against Jedi Master Luke, kind of a big deal when you're getting all those extra revives, Metaloid monstrosity opportunities, being able to get through them pretty darn easily. So we might be seeing a switch in the tide where General Grievous wasn't typically on defense all that much since there's a lot of counters. Now it's going to be a little bit trickier. Grievous Aphelion is going to steal a lot more banners. You got to make sure you work your way around Droideka appropriately, ensuring that you time out the revives at the right time. You try to get Droideka out as fast as possible. You got to get that revive out. So I'm expecting, especially seeing Droideka now inching its way already. It's only been like a few days since the update hit. Droideka Omicron already top 10 for Territory Wars. This is going to be something, especially for those that have to push for General Grievous for a variety of legendary type of things out there. This is going to be a big deal. I know we generally kind of look down upon Territory War, Omicrons, but the fact that matters, we're kind of moving into a new era where Relic 9 is becoming a lot more important. When Relic 9 first came out, it was kind of passable. You only needed it on a few key characters and ships. We're now kind of getting into a new era with Rise of the Empire demanding Relic 9 platoons, or, and then you have to have the Relic 9 teams to actually play the battles. And then we have a new Crate Dragger, which likely it's probably going to require some good Relic 9s on key characters to beat things. Territories is slowly, I don't know if it's as nearly as important as Grand Arena. Grand Arena's got the crystal currency still associated with it. But if you're someone that's trying to amplify your defensive viability or give you some extra offensive tools, I'm definitely expecting Droideka Omicron to make strides on making this a lot more viable of a Grievous team. And Grievous is so much fun. It does bother me a little bit. I can't use this in Grand Arena. If Territories is maybe a little bit more frequent like Grand Arena, maybe I'd be able to balance it out more, but it still hurts my heart just a wee bit that we can't take it on. I digress. Anyways, let's focus back on the gameplay. We have some other battles here. I thought the most interesting thing to show was my Master Luke battle, as well as the Gas versus General Grievous on defense. We got some other stuff. Again, as we said, General Grievous' go-to for the most part before this Omicron is like going after CLS. Kind of a staple thing, but now it's even easier because Han Solo can't stun right away. As you saw the opening play, Han Solo tries to stun. No stun because of that Droideka Omicron, making it so much easier to get that play out. So, and then good thing is too, you got some protection regeneration to try to nab back some protection health. But good thing is in Territories, there are no banners given out for health protection, keeping your team alive as much as possible. We have another battle from Viper 76PL, who decided to get even bolder. Let's try to go after Jabba the Hutt. Now we know in a non-Datacron world, Grievous can kind of pick apart a Jabba the Hutt team. And you kind of see that here. I'm not expecting Droideka Omicron to make a lot of strides against Jabba, because the problem is, once you do start killing off about a few enemies, you can at least expect to get 2 people out, I think, with Grievous versus Jabba. You start running out of target lock, which means you're not getting as much turn meter gain, which means you're not taking as many turns, which means you're not putting enough damage out there. So at some point, you start seeing the steam on General Grievous slow down. So I don't think that Omicron's gonna help out too much here. What I'm expecting the Omicron to be helpful for, if you are trying to work in that galactic legend space, I think it's gonna be great for Master Luke, Sith Eternal. That's kind of the extent of what I'm expecting, because that's kind of what Grievous used to be good at consistently. Then Datacrons and Omicrons kind of muddied up the water a little bit. So if you're someone that sees a lot of Sith Eternal Master Luke, this is gonna be very helpful. Sith Eternal Master Luke aren't too common in Territory Wars. No Savage Omicron to make Sith Eternal a lot better, like we see inside the Grand Arena space. But nonetheless, still a pretty impressive display. Seeing Droideka get a lot of work done. Having that revive capability comes in clutch. And again, giving extra speed opportunities to try to get as many big plays in there that you can possibly get. So overall, is this Omicron worth it? Oh man, it's going to come down to personal preference. As I've told you guys, my opinion is, I think probably like 60-70% of your Omicron should be Grand Arena. That's just my take if you care about Grand Arena. And then maybe the last 20-30%, go put it in Territory Omicrons. I'm still not sold on Territory Battle Omicrons yet. We have Raid Omicron still we got to maybe consider. But if you're someone that does want to get more Relic 9s, you want extra opportunities to make Grievous better on defense, stealing more banners from your opponents, or helping you push in some really difficult scenarios, this is going to be solid. Isn't quite on the level as transformative as like Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano, Captain Phasma. I don't think I can go that far, but still, it's going to be a very solid Omicron. And come on, a Grievous team being back on top with a lot of extra firepower and Droideka being useful again, that's a win in my book. Very good Omicron, easily, maybe not tier 1, but for sure tier 2 Omicron in the game. There's other key ones I would recommend first. but no regrets on this. A lot of fun. Can't wait to see more of what we can do in the future. But on that bombshell, thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate hanging out with you guys and having loads of fun. Any day I'm talking about droids is a good day in my book. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe. Tell me all those thoughts about this lovely droid back here. And more importantly, always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today.